¡Que viva la señorita! ¡Señorita lindísima! ¡Señorita hermosa! ¡Muchas gracias, señorita! ¡Que viva la señorita!
Thank you. Drop the rest of the stuff at my flat, please.
Shop?
Yes?
Good morning. John Drake, well-travelled.
Isn't it a little early for calling?
Yes, rather lucky to find you here.
Well, I'm perfectly satisfied with our present travel arrangements.
That's nice for you. You are Miss Serthia Cooper.
Yes, I am, but I'm very tired.
We are interested in Santo Marco.
Oh. I wouldn't have thought it had much attraction for tourists.
Well, you seem to like it there?
Not particularly. I go there on business occasionally.
Yes, of course. If culture comes, the tourists can't be far behind. I think it's got a great potential when the political situation there quietens down.
Oh, I know nothing about politics. My interests are purely cultural.
Yes, your society is very keen on bringing the good things of life to Santo Marco.
We do our best.
You spent a lot of money there, considering it's a small country.
We don't discuss our finances.
Let me guess. In the last 6 months, I should think you've spent $250,000 bringing culture to Santo Marco.
Have you any idea how much it costs to take a symphony orchestra to Santa Marco?
About £7,520 sterling at the very most. It leaves a tidy balance, doesn't it?
You're very well informed.
I do my best. Actually, I'm here under false pretenses.
You could have fooled me.
I'd like to have a talk with whoever it is behind your society.
Oh, they prefer to remain anonymous.
Well, who can blame them? They'd be very upset to find that the best part of their money is being misused.
Oh?
It's finding its way into the hands of political agitators who want to bring down the government in Santo Marco and wreck its economic program.
Oh, you have a very powerful imagination.
This is one of the nice things about me. Now, if you could put me in touch with your principal...
And if I don't?
There are ways.
I do believe you're threatening me.
Does that worry you?
Not in the least. If you'd like to leave your telephone number, I'll see what we can do.
You won't forget.
No, I won't. You might have to, though.
You're very sure of yourself.
Yes, I am.
The numbers on the card. Right. Hello. Yes, it's John here. Yes, I know. It's silly of me. I just discovered it. Can I come round and pick it up? Yeah. All right. On my way.
Don't look round.
Tell your friends the next time they want to search my house to give me a call. There's nothing here of interest.
Ginger, take these down to graphics, will you? Oh, I knew you'd come back one day.
I tried to fight it.
I love you for losing. I hope it is me you're after.
I wouldn't be here otherwise.
That's what I like to hear. Let's have a cup of that filthy tea. Ginger, 2 teas, please. How's the travel business?
Stimulating.
You mean it matches your personality?
Why did I never fully appreciate you when we worked together?
Because you're a faithless rogue, John Drake. Next question.
Do you remember a girl who used to work in Fleet Street, Cynthia Cooper? I think I once met her with you.
If you think I'm going to spend my declining years carrying messages between you and that
Pauline,
pretentious
you
load
know that you're the only girl in the world that I've ever really cared for.
You would not love me, dear, so much loved you not Miss Cooper more. Thank you, Ginger.
This is strictly business.
I'm listening.
I've been trying to set up a travel deal with the Latin American government, and I've come up against a certain amount of unexpected opposition. Miss Cooper may be connected with it. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, I suppose I've got to believe you. First of all, who ever heard of a girl called Cynthia?
I think it's rather an attractive name.
I looked it up once. It's a bird, a tree creeper. I always thought it very appropriate. Well, she worked her way through the assistant editor, and the managing editor. Then she left.
How about the editor-in-chief?
He was in New York at the time.
Ah.
She'll use you, too.
I can think of a worse fate.
Listen, Cynthia is a predatory, scheming megalomaniac. A career girl of the very worst kind. Hello? Cynthia, darling. What a lovely surprise. Yes, he's here. Like Bess herself.
John Drake?
I was telling someone how interested you were in Santa Marco.
How nice. Who?
You'll be seeing him at 6 this evening.
Where do I find him?
Penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Park Lane.
All right. I'll be there. Thank you. Oh, by the way, next time you want to search my house, let me know in good time. I'll see you have the keys.
Right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Well.
How did she know you were here?
I left a message at my office that I'd be with you.
What's that? Cozy drinks with Cynthia?
No, not Cynthia. A penthouse in Park Lane. Nothing but the best. Thank you, Ginger. Bye-bye. Which is the way to apartment 700?
There is only one apartment on this floor, sir. Mr. Drake?
Yeah.
If you'd come in, Lord Ammanford is expecting you.
The Lord Ammanford?
I was under the impression that there was only one Lord Ammanford, sir.
Yes, of course.
Come in.
Mr. Drake, my lord.
Oh, please come in, Mr. Drake. I'll be with you in a moment. How are you, Mr. Drake? Very good of you to come. Excuse me a minute. I'll tell the Prime Minister, Miss Thomason, that I'll be delighted to dine with him on Thursday. That'll be all. I shall want you again in 10 minutes, Miss Cheshire. And let the ambassador know that I shan't be able to dine with him because I shall be in Washington that evening. Now, Mr. Drake, Miss Cooper tells me you have a problem.
Perhaps the problem is yours, sir.
I'm too rich to have problems. I only have attitudes. What's worrying you?
I understand that you are behind the Society for Cultural Relations with Latin America.
You do?
You should keep a closer watch on them. They're getting out of hand.
Oh?
Your money is not being used to teach happy peasants how to play the flute.
You're a cynic, Mr. Drake. We should get on.
It's been channeled into a revolutionary movement which wants to overthrow the government.
Well, you can't trust anyone these days, can you?
So I take it that you don't care what happens in Santa Marca, as long as your profits are protected?
You've got a very old-fashioned idea of capitalism, Mr. Drake.
Or a very old-fashioned idea of democracy.
Look, by investing our capital in that country, we've helped them to climb up out of a swamp of ignorance and primitive bondage.
For a fee?
Why not? Why not? Do you work for love? If we didn't help them, they'd starve.
But they want to be left alone to help themselves. Who can blame them?
You seem to be against progress, Mr. Drake.
Freedom can be more important.
Then we must agree to differ. How is Manton?
Manton?
Your boss, Sir Joseph Manton of the Foreign Office.
I work for World Travel.
Your boss's boss, then?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't understand you.
Oh, come now, Drake. We're both men of the world. Manton's a bit set in his ways, but he's a sound man at heart. Well, thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to meet an intelligent civil servant.
Peter? Oh, excuse me. David and Wendy are off to bed.
My grandchildren. This is Mr. Drake,
How
my
do you
wife.
feel?
Are you married?
No.
No, you should be. Without a family, you miss quite a lot. Well, goodbye, Drake.
Au revoir, sir. Good night, Lady Anne.
Good night. Seems a nice young man.
Yes. What a pity.
Drake, good of you to come round so promptly. We haven't met before. I'm Manton.
How do you do, Sir Joseph?
Do sit down, make yourself comfortable.
Oh.
Can I offer you some sherry?
Well, thank you very much.
So you've been in Santa Marco. You're working very hard, I hear. I was there once briefly in '54. I rather like the look of the place. Of course, it's changed a lot since then.
For the better, I think.
One hopes so. Still, these new republics have their troubles. Like running in a new car.
Yes, I agree. But this government appears to be having more than its fair share of unrest.
Yes. And I'm afraid that's an occupational hazard of most governments. Their opposition are certainly very violent.
They're paid to be.
Yes. I heard you had views about that.
But they're more than views. The opposition has a highly organized undercover movement which has interests at heart other than the welfare of the people.
Isn't there some cultural society you've taken against?
You've been speaking to Lord Ammanford.
Yes, I did happen to meet him in the club. He told me that you and he had to get together. He's a tough old bird. He's done a lot for Santa Marco.
Like trying to capsize the government.
I wonder if a man like that would really make himself so vulnerable.
Well, he might if he thought they were going to nationalize his oil fields and his bauxite mines.
I can't really believe he'd mix in local politics.
But no doubt he's surrounded by men who are handsomely paid to read his mind.
You're an intelligent man, Drake. And you know that in these modern times, politics and industry must march together hand in hand. Oh, I know that your job takes you very close to, what shall I say, immediate events. But sometimes people like myself, who are more detached, can see things more clearly.
Local agitators are being paid to incite these riots, and unless something is done about them immediately, they'll escalate into a full-scale revolution.
Oh, come.
Which is what Ammanford intends.
Really, Drake? That's a slanderous statement, you know.
Slanderous, perhaps, but true.
I can't believe it. However, I mustn't keep you. I've enjoyed meeting you. It's always nice to put a face to a name. What are you working on next?
Oh, nothing until this business is cleared up.
Oh, I think it's time we close the Santa Marco file. You know, you've been working very hard. You could do with a break.
I can't take one at the moment.
I've instructed your department that they'll have to do without you for a month. They've arranged for your leave to start from today.
Is that so, sir?
Excuse me. Hello, yes? The who? Oh, the minister. Yes, of course. You must excuse me, Drake. We must continue this conversation at some other time. Mustn't keep the master waiting. I've enjoyed meeting you. We must get together at the club for lunch one day. Of course.
Going somewhere? Oh, what a dear little house.
I'm glad you approve.
I'm not here for long.
Working overtime?
Quick trip to Santa Marco.
The society lives on.
You mustn't be a bad loser. You know, Lord Ammanford rather liked you.
Yes, I've heard that executioners grow quite fond of their victims in the end.
What are you working on now?
I'm on leave.
Oh, how nice for you. Going anywhere special?
I thought I might take a little trip.
Like a tour around Scotland?
A bit chilly up there at the moment.
You'd survive. Well, I must fly now. Whoops, bad joke.
Don't take any wooden pesos.
You either. Goodbye.
Adios.
Yes, I've got that. You're cancelling. Santa Marco. Right. You're welcome. Good evening, sir.
Drake, John Drake, I have a seat on the flight to Santa Marco.
I don't think so, sir.
I telephoned earlier.
Well, I don't know who told you that, sir. The flight's fully booked.
Then I'll have the cancellation.
What cancellation?
The one you've just taken.
That's for another flight.
The plane's half empty. Is that for another flight, too?
Really, sir, I don't make the seating plan. If you've any complaints, please make them to head office.
They're closed.
That's right.
Good evening, Mr. Drake.
Miss Cooper.
Well, Mr. Drake, you're an impulsive man. Let's hope you're not a stupid one as well. Thank you.
I was stupid to forget that Lord Ammanford is chairman of the airline. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Any joy?
I told you that girl was no good.
All right, cut out the jokes. Is this the Ammanford file?
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk to the editor?
Well, I talked round it. Look, John, I told you it was no good. No one's going to take a story about a man like Ammanford unless he's done something really...
That flame was half empty.
There may have been a very good reason why...
He's not going to get away with it.
Look, Sir Lancelot, this is the 20th century.
I'm telling you that being rich isn't going to keep him out of trouble.
All right, just give me a call when you want somebody to pick up the pieces.
We'll see about that.
Aren't you taking this a bit personally?
Am I?
Yes. Trying to dig up a piece of dirt out of a man's past to use against him.
Where does he come from?
Oh, a place called Clankumbrach. It's in Wales, in case you hadn't guessed.
And what was his name before they made him Lord Ammanford?
Jones Boy, a real Welsh name. What else but Peter Jones?
Oh, well, that doesn't get us far. I'd better get down there, too. What's the name of it?
Clankumbrach.
Clankumbrach. Thanks very much for your help. I'll, be seeing you.
I shall be very interested to read your book, Mr. Drake. Oh, we're very proud of Lord Ammanford in this village. He's done a lot for us, he has.
Do you remember him as a boy?
Oh, very well. He was playing Peter Jones then, of course. A lively little lad.
Yes. Are his parents still alive?
Ah, no, there, you've got me.
Where did he live?
Well, my memory's not as good as it was. It might have been up on the terrace, near the old slate quarry.
Yes.
But I wouldn't swear to it.
Could you tell me where I might be able to find any of his relations?
Oh, that's another question. There are so many Joneses in the valley. Now, let me think. There's Jones, the police. No, he's far too young. Then there's Jones, the schoolmaster. Yeah, now he might remember the boy.
No relative of mine, but a nice boy, mind you. Of sturdy, well stock he was.
Dark?
Brown eyes. His hair was like wire, and black as a crow's wing.
Sallow complexion?
Well, he was pale, but the boy was always at his books, you see.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Was he a relation of yours, Miss Jones?
I should hope not.
Why is that?
Well, that'd be telling now, wouldn't it?
Let me see. He had fair hair, didn't he?
Oh, so soft it was, too.
And blue eyes.
The devil. I can see them now. Blue as the sea they were.
On a fine day, of course. Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. Goodbye. You say you knew him well?
Yes, like my own son.
And you're the man to tell me all about him. Where do you live?
Oh, down by the bridge, for sure.
Which house?
Oh, somewhere down that end. Yakida.
Yakida. And his hair, was it dark or fair?
Well, no,
His eyes, were they blue or brown?
No, that's a question.
And was he a little devil or something of a bookworm?
Well, to speak truly, he was... Oh, I can't rightly remember. It was many years ago.
Yet you knew him like your own son.
Yes, like my own son. And to think that he's now Lord Ammanford, oh dear.
Could it be that perhaps there's more than one Peter Jones? Or even no Peter Jones at all?
Hello, yes? Yes, this is the ship. Who? Oh, yes, that's right. He's waiting. Yes, he's here. Mr. Drake, you're called to London.
Thank you. Pauline, hello there.
Getting anywhere?
Your Peter Jones appears to have been a blue-eyed, brown-eyed, fair-haired, dark boy who was a little bit of a devil of a bookworm. Are you sure you didn't make him up?
No, listen. I went down to the passport office. I managed to talk myself into the archives. It wasn't easy. They're not really supposed to let anyone in. Well, they had the original applications, names of the parents, Ruthin and Bronwyn Jones.
Everybody's Jones down here.
But they don't all live at Pennygwint Farm.
Could you tell me where to find Mr. Ruthin Jones?
It'd be presumptuous to postulate on that now.
Why is that?
Well, he's been dead these, 5 years.
Do you live around here?
Over on the hill there.
Then I expect you knew his son, Peter.
All my life. He was a fine man. An honest man and a good friend. Who's the deceased?
Why, Peter Jones, man. God rest his soul.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
There's no bus for another 2 hours. Which way are you going?
Canconbrook.
Then I wonder whether you'd be kind enough to drop me off at the station.
Yes, of course, jump in.
Thank you so much. Now I'll be able to catch the 12 o'clock train. Yeah. You're a good Samaritan.
Would you give us a hand? Just a little extra weight, we'll have her out.
You know, the trouble is that you're always ready to interfere in somebody else's business. Don't move. No hard feelings.
Mr. Drake, my lord.
Oh, show him in, please. My dear Mr. Drake, I wasn't expecting to hear from you again.
Why not?
I'll just finish this letter. Oh, what can I offer you in the way of something to drink?
Whiskey.
Now then. My dear fellow, you have been in the wars.
Just a preliminary skirmish.
You must have rubbed somebody up the wrong way.
Yes. I must have done.
But don't think I'm too old to appreciate enthusiasm. You're a very keen man, Mr. Drake. Now, what can I do for you?
I've just come back from Wales. A place called Clan Gwm Brat.
Lovely country.
Of course, you know it.
It was a long time ago.
How did you first come to meet Ruthin Jones?
Ruthin Jones? I don't remember him. As I said, it was a long time ago.
That's curious. He was your father.
Father? What are you talking about?
You see, we've been excavating in the archives of the passport office.
So?
Do you know that they've got your first application for a passport 35 years ago?
That, Drake, is a confidential document.
And an inaccurate one. In it, you state that your father was Ruthin Jones, husband of Bronwyn. You'll be interested to know that I attended your funeral yesterday. That is, if you are Peter Jones, son of Ruthin.
I hope you're not trying to threaten me.
No, I'm just interested, that's all. Why did you have to make a false statement? I suppose that at some time earlier you'd changed your name to Jones, and when you had to apply for a passport, you daren't give your original name. Now, what happened to make you change it?
You seem to have a wide range of interests.
Only one, really, at the moment. I can't help feeling involved in the situation in Santo Marco.
You're not going to make a speech, are you?
Not just a short one. They'd managed to achieve a sort of freedom. And just because some foreign business interest didn't like the new setup there, they financed a revolution and pushed the poor little devils back into the jungle.
I don't think you quite realize how powerful I am.
Oh, yes, indeed I do. I only wish I could be impressed.
You don't have to be impressed, just careful. I can ruin you, Drake. Physically, professionally, mentally, you name it. And there's nothing you can do in return to harm me. Absolutely nothing.
Peter, it's past your bedtime.
I'm just coming up, my dear. You remember, Miss Drake?
Yes, I do. And I shall be very angry with you if you keep my husband up. Now, you can drink your hot milk in here, and then I insist you come to bed.
All right, my dear.
Don't say I haven't warned you, Mr. Drake.
Good night, Lady Ammanford.
Well, I hope I made myself clear and that we can be good friends.
Friends?
Yes, you could be very useful to me. I have many interests.
I'll let you know when I'm on the market.
I can be a very good friend, but a very bad enemy.
If it wasn't for the central heating, I'd be shivering. Thanks for the drink.
It's 999 for the police.
Doubtless, with your connections, you could have me arrested for breaking into my own house.
Aha, you're improving.
Is this a social visit?
Of course.
You, haven't noticed.
Suits you.
Have a drink.
Help yourself.
What tidings of joy and whatnot do you bring me?
That depends.
Ah.
What I like about you is the way you're so cryptic.
What I like about myself is the way that I don't like you.
You could make a girl feel inadequate.
Could?
Oh, all right, you do.
All right, now we know where we stand with each other. Perhaps you'd like to go.
I'm lonely.
It's a very nice bus stop at the end of the Mews. You'll meet a lot of friends there.
Suppose I don't want a lot of friends. Just the one.
Well, there are respectable agencies which introduce people to other people for a fee, of course.
A fee? How much?
Ah, I see. You've come to pay me off if I'm a good boy.
You are going to be a good boy, then?
That depends.
Oh, on what?
£10,000 at the very least, in cash, of course.
Aren't you rather overestimating your nuisance value?
I don't think so. You see, I haven't really started yet.
You know, people have tried to get in Lord Ammanford's way before.
Now, I'm really frightened. One of your friends?
Before we're interrupted, I think £10,000 could be arranged. We'd want you to leave the country for a month or two, of course.
No, thank you. I just wanted to know how much you cared. Excuse me.
John, I found...
Come and say hello to an old friend of yours.
Oh, hello, Cynthia. What a lovely surprise.
Yes, isn't it?
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Oh, no, nothing. Just business. I didn't realize it was so late. Good night, Pauline.
Good night, Cynthia.
Do try and be sensible.
Yes, I always look both ways before I cross the road.
Good night.
Good night.
What did that tree creeper want?
Just the gypsy's warning. What have you found out about him?
Oh, well, they were married in Australia in 1930 after a romantic elopement. It caused quite a scandal at the time.
1930. That's when he first applied for a passport, wasn't it?
And 2 years later, when they came back, all was forgiven. She was a considerable heiress, by the way.
See, that's how he got his start.
And never looked back.
Well, I'm going to. Do you know where she was living before he first met her?
No, but I know where she grew up.
Yeah?
The manor, Fontingbridge. Her old nanny still lives in the village.
It was a drafty old place. Oh, but it brings back memories.
Do the family still live there?
I beg your pardon?
Do the family still live there?
Oh, no, dear. It's a school now. So you're writing a book about Lord Ammanford. How nice. I was his wife's nanny, you know.
Yes, that's why I came to see you.
I always knew she'd make a good marriage. The little angel she was and her sister. You know, their mother used to say to me, Nanny Brown, without you, I don't know what would have become of those children.
Did you know Lord Ammanford? Lord Ammanford? Did you know him well?
No, he wasn't from around here, you know. Oh, but she was a little angel.
But you did know him?
No, but what a fine man he turned out to be.
Yes, splendid. Have you got any other family photographs?
Oh, I've got hundreds of them.
Any of Lord and Lady Ammanford at the time of their marriage?
Oh, no, you know, that's one I haven't got.
Well, isn't that then?
Oh, no, that's her dear sister, another little angel. Wasn't she a little dream? Oh, I mustn't miss the 3:30, dear. I don't see how Marsupa could lose at the weight.
They're under starter's orders. Come into line now. They're going to be away first time, and
Do you mind if I borrow this photograph? Take a look at the chauffeur.
He's not my type, really. What about him?
Take a closer look. Recognize him?
Bit before my time, isn't it? Judging from the clothes.
I think perhaps you will now.
John Drake, you're clever with it. You mean Peter Jones isn't Peter Jones, but...
That's right. Lord Ammanford isn't Peter Jones and never was. At the time this photograph was taken, he was a chauffeur. All I have to do now is to find out who he was working for and what his real name was before they made him his lordship. Morning, Nanny. I'm returning your photograph, and I hope that you'll accept this little present. The man in the photograph here, do you remember who he was?
You told me a lie, Mr. Drake.
A lie about what?
You said you were writing a book about Lord Ammanford. I know all about you, Mr. Drake. If you'll give me my photograph, I'll thank you to be going.
But if he drove for the family, you must have known him.
He didn't. It was a hire car.
I wish I could help you, but old man Taylor sold out long before the war. Some of the old drivers stayed through the war, but I don't remember this one. Stan, this gentleman is asking about a driver who was here before the war. Do you remember him?
Must have been before my time. You could ask old Charlie Hewitt, he might know.
Old Charlie, I'd forgotten him.
Hewitt?
Yeah.
He's an old man, he used to wash the cars here.
Where's he live now?
Same old place, down by Green End Lane.
Do you know your way around here?
Well, not too well, I'm afraid.
I know old Charlie's place. I'll show you.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Well, we're not Londoners here, you know. We don't mind helping people. Anyway, I live up that way.
How about your bike?
Well, it's packed up.
Oh, well, thanks very much.
Take a look at it for me, would you, Stan? We don't mind helping ourselves either.
Scared? You look to me like a fast driver.
How does a fast driver look?
Like you.
No, you gave us a telephone number in London, a special government telephone number, where you said somebody would adequately explain your actions. We telephoned that number and the person concerned denies all knowledge of you. Do you wish to say anything further?
If I said anything, you wouldn't believe me anyway, would you?
Well, you'd better think of some explanation for the stolen property we found in the back of your motor car. All right, I'm going to hold you in custody while further inquiries are being made. This one.
Hewitt.
I didn't know them tyres were stolen.
I want some information.
I tell you, I never knew them tyres
All
was
right, well,
next
forget about
time.
that if you help us now. This man here used to work at Taylor's. Do you remember him?
Where'd I put my specs? Well, fancy that now. That's George Foster.
Not Jones?
No, Foster.
Did you know him well?
No, not my type, really. You know, he wasn't honest. Oh, he went off and left his wife and kids.
Do you know where his wife is now?
Yeah, she's the pot's end. She made him pay for leaving her, all right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have run away, you know. The police won't like that. I felt it my duty to tell them where you were.
That's very public-spirited of you.
No hard feelings?
I thought there must have been a divorce.
Certainly not. George Foster wanted one, of course, but I don't believe in it.
So you're still his legal wife.
I am, for all the good it does me.
You don't exactly appear to be living in poverty, Mrs. Foster.
Well, naturally, I saw to it that Foster did his duty by me and the children. As a man sows, so must he reap.
Very moral of you. So you kept silent about his forgetfulness in marrying again while he still had a wife.
Marrying that woman is a matter for his conscience, not mine.
Very convenient. What are your views on blackmail, Mrs. Foster?
All I ever made him do was his duty to his family. I think you'd better go, Mr. Drake.
Yes, very well. Thank you.
And you will please not tell anyone about this distressing matter.
I understand. You do not wish to lose your lucrative pension.
What's the penalty for hiding a man who's wanted by the police?
Not more than 10 years, I should think.
Oh. I wish you'd tell me what it's all about.
I've got to get Lord Ammanford before he gets me.
I see. If that's the travel business, I think I'll stick to the regular army.
Your little friend, Miss Cooper, likes to play it rough.
Don't say I didn't warn you. That girl is poison. Spelled B-I-T.
Hello, Pauline.
Oh, hello, Cynthia.
I'm sorry just to drop by like this.
Oh, that's all right. Come in, won't you?
Thank you. What a dear little room.
I'm so glad you like it. Won't you have a drink or something?
No, I won't, thank you. I thought I heard voices.
Oh, yes, I talk to myself. We old maids.
Actually, I was looking for John Drake. I promised to arrange something for him.
John Drake? Well, he never comes round here. You should have phoned. I'm in the book.
I never thought of that. You've no idea where I might find him, have you?
Oh, you know John. Always hither and yon.
Well, in that case, darling, I won't keep you.
Really, you're not?
I have to run.
It's been such ages since we met. I hope to hear all the news.
We must have lunch next week.
I don't think I could bear the excitement of waiting that long.
Really, I must go.
Really, you must stay.
Pauline, what's come over you?
The mad desire to tell you what I think of you. Take your hands off me, you grubby little journalist. Oh! Yeah. Oh! No! No! Oh! Oh! Yeah! Oh! Ah! Yeah! Oh!
Get me another brandy and soda, Webb.
Don't you think perhaps you're drinking too much?
I'll give you 30 seconds to get out of here. If you go to my bank in the morning, you'll be given £20,000 and an airline voucher for 600.
Well spoken, George Foster. You know,
If you'd listened to me, you could have saved us both a lot of trouble. Of course, I know that in 1929, there wasn't much future for someone with a wife and 2 children working in a car hire firm in Birmingham. Was there? Of course, you could earn a little bit extra on the side, giving driving lessons to the gentry.
You will stop at nothing, will you?
I couldn't find any record of George Foster having been divorced.
She was a horrible woman.
I met her yesterday. She took some finding. Oh, I know, you looked after her handsomely. And the children. She saw to that. It was either pay or divorce and a charge of bigamy. So you paid plenty.
You've done a wonderful job, haven't you?
Yes, I'm rather pleased with myself.
But you're exactly where you started.
Is that so?
Mr. Drake, there's nothing that you can possibly do to harm me. No newspaper would A, listen to, and B, print one word of what you just found out. No businessman would let your little story shave £1 off the profits I give him. No, there's nothing that you or your kind can do to me.
I know that one shouldn't say this to a millionaire, but you're wrong.
There's nothing you can do.
I'm afraid there is.
Hello, Mr. Drake. You're quite a fixture these days. I just want to try this sleeve. Hold your arm up, Peter. There. And put your arm down now. I'll leave you in peace.
I know that if I told the story to your wife, you could dismiss it as the ravings of a lunatic. So I've taken the precaution of typing it out in full and having it duplicated. There are 200 copies in existence with photostat copies of birth certificates, passport applications, the lot. If you're not completely out of Santo Marco in 20 minutes from now, a friend of mine has instructions to send the story to every influential editor, politician, and public figure that I could think of. So you see, your wife will find out after all, and what a clown that it'd make of you. The fearless Lord Ammanford, a bigamist. You could never live with that. Much easier to sink your pride and do as I say.
All right. You won.
Oh, no. No, I haven't won. All those little people that you said you were helping to climb up out of a swamp of ignorance and primitive bondage, they've won. They may not know it yet, but they've won. I prepared a statement for you to read out over the telephone to the Press Association. You've discovered that your cultural organization in Santo Marco is being misused, and you are winding it up.
Sensation! Lord Ammanford, sensation!
Yes, it's quite correct. No. No, I've nothing to add. No. Good night.
Peter, is the telephone going to ring all night? Oh, you look worn out.
No, I'm just coming, dear.
I should hope so.
Oh, I can see when I'm not wanted. I leave this with you. Take good care of it. It's the only copy there is.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. And thank you.